Loki, that familiar face, appeared unexpectedly on the Terraria Discord recently, and he really did us all a service with the extent of his discussion about Mobile 1.3. Now, comments from Loki are always good because Loki usually has the inside scoop on Terraria Mobile 1.3 for obvious reasons, and as fate would have it, I was lurking in the chat, greedily hoovering up everything he wrote. So let's start with something interesting. Apparently, a Discord user asked about side hover ability, and so Loki was kind enough to post this brief video clip of the side hover ability in action. So it doesn't look like controls for the mobile version are going to be too basic. Moves like this will no doubt be useful for the more skilled players out there who'll be better able to take full advantage of them, but really, whatever your skill level might be, it's certainly cool to watch a move like this in action. Now, Loki was apparently doing an informal lunchtime Q&A session on the Terraria Discord. I didn't see anything posted about this on the Terraria Twitter or anything like that. Now, I've got a lot to post, so I'll do that now. Keep in mind, when I post messages, I'm posting the text, generally speaking, as it was written. So it's going to be informal and unedited for the most part with typos and that sort of thing. That's just the nature of Discord. That's how I also try to usually post people's comments, by the way. Anyway, let's get started. A user named Vard asked, "Is it possible to update by the end of the summer?" To which Loki replied, "Welp, time to push it back another day, since someone asked." He was kidding, of course, but that being said, Vard, what are you doing, bro? Another user, Al Polopon, wrote, "What percentage is left for release?" Sorry for bad English. And Loki replied, "Game dev doesn't work like that." Next, Vard salvaged his tarnished reputation with an excellent question. "And testing is in full swing?" Loki responded to that with, "Sure, I've been testing since January, have had my own internal team on it since April, and that is on top of DR Studios and 505 Games efforts, and then of course the beta now." Next, Green Phantom 30 wrote, "Will we be able to change the controls in any way at all?" And to this, Loki really responded with a very long sequence of posts. He truly enjoys talking about the 1.3 controls. I've noticed that in particular. And he wrote, "Somewhat at launch, more so post-launch. What that will ultimately be is still to be determined, needs a lot of iteration as we want to give folks as much as possible by way of customization without breaking the game or making it bad, so it's not something we want to hold launch to do, as it may take a bit of time to get just right. The current, or 1.2 controls, are simple but horribly limited. Imagine a continuum between simple and capable. Those are all the way to one side. These are more with an eye towards capability, and then once you get over the learning curve, you'll be glad for it. Every single internal tester has had that experience, including myself. Not saying perfect, not saying tweaks not still going on, but bring back 1.2 controls? No. Why prop up a failed system that everyone dislikes? I'm not going to lie, there is 100% a learning curve, especially if you're used to 1.2 controls. But if you actually take the time and settle into your way of doing it, all will be well. DR, and by that he means DR Studios, gonna have some sort of instructions or tutorial thing to help get started, but I fully expect a lot of WTF, I can't get used to this on day one. And then about a week later, a lot of "now that I've spent more time" style posts. And I'm sure some folks just won't bother to learn. Shrug. Change is hard, but it's for the best. Next, moving on from his commentary on the new mobile 1.3 controls, Xternits asked him, what is your favorite weapon in Terraria 1.3? Loki responded, Solar Eruption and Flare-On, as shown here. But he did qualify that answer by adding, I've never had one drop, meaning the Terrarian, on any platform, on any play. Generally, I am a yo-yo melee player. I can certainly say I've had rotten luck with the Terrarian as well. I've had many Moonlord kills over the years where pretty much everything except the Terrarian has dropped. I've got multiples of pretty much everything, but I've never gotten the Terrarian. Now, if you've noticed that I've used the Terrarian in some of my videos, well, that one I had to add through T-Edit, which unfortunately is not available to my knowledge on anything other than PC. So yes, I cheated to get it. It's that tough for me to find it. Anyway, Loki read my thoughts by subsequently writing, it would likely be my favorite weapon if one dropped, but I refuse to debug one in. What can I say? I'm just not a purist like Loki. Next, Loki talked about the Chinese edition of 1.3. The China 1.3 version is a wholly different thing, but I suspect they will migrate to this build as well in the future, with whatever censorship the government requires. Not sure what that's about. It's not really something I'm familiar with, but if you were curious, there you go. Next, Loki volunteered this information about the relative release date of Mobile 1.3, and it's good. He wrote, will Mobile 1.3 come before Journey's End? I would be stunned if it didn't. We are in beta/10 stage, smiley face. Now, I know what a beta is. I'm not sure what 1, 0, or 10 stage means, but he smiled after he said it, so it sounds promising at any rate. Addressing complaints about delays with Mobile 1.3, Loki wrote, taking too long. Well, DR Studios has completely rebuilt the entire game in 6 months. I mean, I get the bigger point of it's been X number of years, but all I can deal with is what we have now in front of us, not the old developers, etc. I mean, to me, this is essentially like a brand new game. It's not just add in 1.3. And he's right, given the fact that they've recoded the game from the ground up. They really did build the game from scratch with, I guess, more efficient and future-proof code. They've hinted at future plans that I've interpreted to mean maybe cross-platform play in some capacity. That's still unknown, of course, but they have done a lot of brand new coding from scratch. And so for all of this to have been done in a matter of months is pretty impressive. Anyway, acknowledging a poster's comment about the long development cycle, Loki wrote, sure, and it sucks that we have had to go through the journey we have, but as a different perspective, that road led us to DR Studios and the work they have done. So, if the end result winds up being this, then perhaps it was meant to be. Lol. Sebastian Moore wrote, you're going to make another Terraria mobile live stream? I really want another stream, but with you, can't do, I understand. I think English is a second language for the poster, but the point was gotten across. They asked if there was going to be another 1.3 mobile live stream like what happened recently on Twitch. It was about an hour long. Loki responded to this with, probably we'll do another one in a bit. Will be more basic, Q&A, derping around. Hopefully I'll get more of a chance to hang out this time, and I won't get hammered by thunderstorms. In a bit equals in the next few weeks sometime, if possible. I would love to see another live stream, I really would. The first one generated a ton of stuff to talk about, even though he was apparently doing the whole thing while enduring a really bad thunderstorm where he lived. If anyone watched it, you'll remember that the stream itself suffered a lot of lag. I don't know how much of that had to do with the thunderstorm, but really all of the elements were against him between the lag on the stream and the weather. He did a really good job getting the stream going and talking through it and playing and showing everything for a full hour. So if we're treated to another hour-long stream, that'll be great. As another user on Discord pointed out, talking about in the next few weeks is a little disheartening because it does imply a continuation of the beta and an inevitable delay of mobile 1.3 for a few weeks more, but there you go. Anyway, the previous poster, Sebastian Moore, asked a follow-up question about translation packs in mobile 1.3. He wrote, "The 1.2 when downloaded here in Brazil comes with your translation, understand? Can the same thing happen in 1.3? So as I said, Sebastian is a non-native English speaker. He'll be speaking Portuguese, being a Brazilian. So Sebastian, don't worry, your English is much better than my Portuguese. Anyway, to all of these questions, Loki responded, I know they have some localization in, not sure what all languages. I'm sure when they get to 1.3.5 tier, they will add in all that the PC has. And as you may know, the PC has very extensive translation packs, so sooner or later it sounds like non-English language packs are going to be fairly robust for the mobile version of Terraria. Finally, the single boy in the house, who I think only used that name just so I'd have to read it aloud, asked, what version of 1.3 is coming out? The original, or 1.3.1, or 1.3.2? And Loki answered 1.3.0.7. And I'll include a link to the patch notes on the PC version for that if you're curious what all of that entails. But that was it for Loki's lunchtime appearance on Discord. It covered a multitude of topics, all focused on mobile Terraria, so there was a lot to learn from Loki in this kind of more informal, casual setting. So it was good for him to appear, and I'm glad I just happened to be home at lunch and logged on to Discord and found him posting. So there you go. Thanks for watching. More videos to come as more content becomes available. It's really hard to believe that we're near the end of July already. The year's just flown by. But anyway, take care everyone, and I'll see you next time.